Hi, my name is Gabrielle Tillier, and I'm here to talk about Unit 1, the gendered body, specifically transsexuals. I never knew much information about them before learning and reading from this class, so that was kind of exciting. First off, for those of you that don't know, transsexual, by definition, is a person in which the sexual related structures of the brain that define gender identity are exactly the opposite of the physical sex organs. So essentially, they believe in their head that they are male. However, they have female sexual sex organs, or vice versa. Oftentimes, people that identify as transsexual want to fix their bodies so that they can feel like what is in their head. So, for example, if they truly feel themselves that they should be a woman, and in their mind, however, they have male sex organs, they undergo surgery or try to, so that they can become whole in a sense. A lot of times people say that that because it's all in the head, that they should go through a process of being evaluated by psychiatrists and therapists so that they can make sure that this is the right decision they're doing. When reading Mutilating Gender by Dean Spade, I kind of learned a different perspective of how it's a good thing that these men and women should be able to undergo surgery, because it helps them become who they want to be. And who is anyone to say that you cannot be a man or a woman if the surgery is available? The article opens up with a joke, talking about a girl that wants to come in and get a nose job. And she was like, I've lived with a small nose my whole life. I want a big nose. Can you help me with that? And the doctor is basically saying, well, I think you should wait on it for a year with your nose and make sure that it fits. When it's like, obviously she knows what she wants. She wants that bigger nose, or vice versa. Why shouldn't she get that? Now, I guess personally, because I didn't ever know any information about transsexuals myself, I always thought that I liked the idea of going through the therapy and waiting the time until you can be approved for the surgery, just because there's a lot of people that I feel like might regret it. In the article by Dean Spade, they say completely different, that once you identify in your head of a gender, that you should go for it because that's what's in your mind. While you may regret a tattoo, that's not something that necessarily defines you. Whereas gender, our society looks at a lot of what you do and how you dress and how you act to define your identity, your gender identity. And basically, Dean Spade talks a lot about why should anybody be able to define somebody as who they want to be? Why should we go through therapy and go to psychiatrists and talk to these people and sometimes have to lie to make the stories more clear cut in order to be approved for the surgeries? They obviously feel trapped in the wrong body, and I guess it's not really fair to them to have to, for example, be told by a psychiatrist that, well, maybe you just have lesbian tendencies. So let's reevaluate you in 3 years and see whether you really feel like you are a man in your mind before we give you male sex organs. So it's kind of an interesting thing. I've never thought about it before, and Claudine Griggs says that fortunately most people, though they strive to become a certain kind of man or woman, never question their foundational gender. And I've kind of grown up that way. I am a heterosexual female. My mother is very much a feminist. She's also very much feminine. So I was raised watching her wear dresses and cook and clean and be a housewife, and it always appealed to me. I liked wearing. I like hanging out with girls and playing with culturally gendered toys and games and everything like that. So I never really struggled with this idea, and so it's very abstract to me personally. I don't. I didn't know how popular body alteration was, or that so many people get denied of the right. Um, I I would hate for my loved one to feel that they are a woman inside and that they want to express that, because I would support them. However, I have realized through our readings that not everybody gets this right. And a lot of times they get shot down, or they have to, the process is 10 years before they can actually fully become who they want to be. And so that was just kind of interesting to me. Previously, I believed that going through the surgery might be something like getting a tattoo when you're 19 years old. Maybe when you're 35, you would regret that you put that on yourself permanently. And that's sort of how I had the perspective of it, going through being a transsexual and deciding to define yourself as one or the other. That maybe you'll regret it. And so going through the article, it says a lot about being crippled emotionally and socially when you're transsexual, because while kids are growing up and playing, girls are going into gymnastics and dance, and boys are doing football, the people that are kind of stuck with the body that maybe their head believes is incorrect really struggle with finding friends or anything like that. Many times going through the process, people feel like they have to lie or alter their stories in order to be approved, which is kind of heartbreaking to me, because although they maybe had, long hair that they used to love to braid in pigtails, it doesn't mean that they feel like they are feminine just because that's what our culture defines as feminine. Dean Spade was one of these people to have to struggle and fight for becoming a man on the outside and not just on the inside. He recognized soon through the process that he would have had to lie and say that he had certain qualities about him in order for them to approve his surgery. For example, from his article, he said, "From what I've gathered in my various counseling sessions, in order to be deemed real, I need to want to pass as male all the time, not feel ambivalent about this. I need to be willing to make the commitment to full-time maleness, or they can't be sure I won't regret my surgery. The fact that I don't want to change my first name, I haven't sought out the use of the pronoun he, that I don't think that lesbian is the wrong word for me, or worse yet, that I recognize that the use of any word for myself, lesbian, trans person, transgender, butch, boy, mister, fag, butch, has always been, always will be, strategic in my undoing in their eyes. They are waiting for a better justification for my desire for surgery, something less intellectual, more real." People that undergo this problem seems to be common, according to the article, and it's very sad that people can't, they obviously know in their heart and their desires who they are. Just like I know in my heart that I am a female and that I am heterosexual. Although that is culturally what our society looks for, it doesn't mean that if I thought in my head that I was male, that I would be less sure of that. all in all, no matter how difficult it may be for transsexuals to pursue who they truly believe they are, I think it's really important for gender self-determination. And although the process may be long and hard, hopefully we can fix that one day. On the other hand, I really hope that we, as the cultural gender norm, can have respect for all expressions of gender and see it from their eyes as well. Thank you.